Okay, today we're gonna be raw packing some beef. Now, let me turn this fan down because my voice is going out on me, so make sure you can hear me. Okay, it's a lot like my video for raw packing chicken, except it's beef, and I do a little bit different. I'm gonna add, this is just my own taste, you don't have to add the onion. I add 1/4 cup onion to each jar. And it's a heaping 1/4. I dice this up pretty thin. You could use a food processor if you wanted to, but I really love these things called ulu knives, especially if you get the little cutting board bowl that comes with it. You should look it up. I don't sell them. I'm not making any money off of promoting them, but boy, you can dice things. Like I could have turned this into a puree if I wanted to. But I kind of like it chunky. We pretty much put onions and garlic in everything we eat, so this is just, flavoring that we're going to put in there anyways. Okay, did that. Now, just like with the chicken, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon salt just to help preserve it. It does give it a little flavor. Make sure you use canning salt, or at least non-iodine. I can't talk. Use the salt that doesn't have iodine in it. It can leave a sediment in the bottom. It also can eat away at your lid, lid right here, because of the iodine's type of iron. Anyhow, okay. And we're just gonna pack it raw. And we've got these cubes, and you want them all the same. It's not quite as malleable, I think that's the right word, as chicken, so I kind of push it down in there. This is cold meat, going into cold jars, going into a cold pressure cooker. And you want to give it that, you can go to about, you still want that 1-inch headspace, but it doesn't have to be quite below it, because that onion's going to shrink down. You know what I mean? It is going to release its own liquid, but... And this is some meat that I got at a local grocery store, not Wally World. That was buy one get one, and it's just a bottom round chuck roast steak. Not that you couldn't eat it as a steak, but I guarantee it tastes better, and I'll make my $30 I spent on this into a lot more meals, and I'll make it taste a lot better. We eat a lot of soup and stew around here. Sometimes in the summertime, I don't know what to do because we eat so much soup and stew, it takes me a while to get into the rhythm of what to cook when it's 110 degrees out. But in the winter, it's 10 degrees out, or -10, depending if the wind's blowing or not. We live in the high mountain desert, but it's forested. No sagebrush. Lots of nice ponderosas and fir, tamarack, all that stuff. So what this does, if you didn't watch the one about chicken, it's going to create its own broth. That's why you don't add liquid to it. And it's a great stock. We use it in rice sometimes. That's more of a use for the chicken thing. But you can see I've got a lot here. This is 8 quarts. I'm probably going to end up with, 8 pints, excuse me. Probably going to end up with at least 20 pints. And you add vegetables to that, and some a little bit more water, and some canned meat, potatoes. You got yourself 20 meals. $30 or however much you get it for. Now, I like my steak, but I like my steak bloody. So I make sure when I do eat steak, which we don't do it all that often, that it's never been frozen for one. That's just my own personal preference. And that it's pretty high quality cut and, well, high quality in general. That way I know when I'm drinking my steak, so to speak, as my mom likes to say, that I don't have the same risk as if I were to buy the bargain Wally World meat and barely warm it up and eat it. Probably you couldn't pay me to do that. I do trim more of the fat off of this than I do off of chicken. Just not that you can't can the fat, and not that the fat isn't needed. It's kind of a non-fat's kind of a bad word in my household. Fat-free, but beef fat tends to go rancid a bit quicker than chicken fat does, I've noticed. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill in the spaces, because we're not having to worry about getting air bubbles out, you know, and I want to get as much in each jar as possible, because there's 4 of us on a slow day, and the rest of the neighborhood kids hit our friends, you know. I'd rather use 2 jars than 3 because I packed them well. Now you notice I don't have a towel to wipe down the rim, but I'm confident that I didn't get anything on my rim here. And if you do, I mean, it won't hurt nothing, but I'm tired and I'm taking advantage of the kids right now are in another town, well, not that far away, but going steelhead fishing with Grandpa in the morning, so I hope if that's successful, I'll show you how to can steelhead fish of any kind, really. But I digressed and rambled a bit. If you have like a particle on here, you could end up, your jar won't seal. I don't have that happen very often. Sometimes on occasion I've had them boil over, you know, like there was too much liquid in it, and they're still sealed. Just gotta clean the jar when you're done. Okay. So I'm gonna put the lids on. It's an exciting event. You can do this with venison too, same difference. Goat, red meat's red meat. Where you want to get them on there, finger tight, and then tighten it a little bit more. Finger tight, meaning just until you can do that, just with the ease of your fingers, and then just give it a twist. Finger tight, give it a twist. Finger tight, give it a twist. Alright. Now you can see that it is just meat, onions, and salt. And we'll see you when we're ready to put them in the pressure canner. Okay, we have vented the steam for 10 minutes, and we've gained our pressure of, let me see if I can get it, right at 11 pounds. And so now we are going to process these pints of diced up beef for 75 minutes. And then remember, when the time is up, don't let the steam out to hurry. You want to open it, let it go all the way down to 0 naturally, and then take the lid off and remove your cans. Most of them will probably be sealed by then. So, alright, we'll see you when we're ready to pull them out. Okay, we are all done. The pressure's down to 0. I even fell asleep after I turned it off for a little while and woke back up, and they're still boiling. As you can see, they're really, really beautiful color to me, you know. You can see the onion on the bottom still, and then a really nice broth. And it's really important to let them sit undisturbed until they've completely cooled down. And then, like, that'll end up being a fat layer on the top. And as you can see, since I fell asleep, every one of them has successfully sealed, even before me taking it out of the cooker. So, hope you learned something. Feel free to ask any questions, and I'm really having a good time making these videos for you guys to watch. So, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.